thank you for being the world premiere of Fat Kid Rules the World. You have on the table in front of you a 7-inch of the two Mike McCready of Pearl Jam did the music for the movie. And so Rick Rosenthal and Whitewater Pictures paid to have a 7-inch press of the two songs that appear in the movie. So that is our gift to you I don't know, for us, it's the end of a year. It's the end of 9 years. It's the culmination of my entire career. So it's a gift. And please enjoy it and own it. And we're very happy to give that to you. So thank you very much. I would like to thank you. So first and foremost, I would like to, now, there's only a first time, sorry, you're stuck for a little while. We have a world premiere one time ever, and I would like to now bring people up. First, I would like to bring up the entire cast. There's a lot of people here that are from the movie, and I would like them to come up and join me on stage, please. So it's Lily Simmons, Dylan Arnold, Billy Campbell, Matt O'Leary, and Jacob Wasaki. Literally, everyone who's ever worked on this film, please come up. I'm not going to mention everyone because that would be too tedious, but there's 3 other people I'd like to mention. Seriously, if you worked on the movie, please come up. Stand up if you worked on the movie. I know there's a whole row of people that worked on the movie. Yes, thank you, Gabby, Jennifer Moss, Bert. There's 3 people I want to single out right this second. The first one is my cinematographer, Noah Rosenthal. I've been on a lot of movies. Thank you, Noah Rosenthal. So I've spent my life on movies, and I understand partnerships. I never understood how much time goes into the collaboration between the director and the cinematographer. So this is Noah Rosenthal. He's responsible for 50% of everything that's on screen, and I'm responsible for the other 50%. So thank you, my friend. The other person is Michelle Whitten, who's our editor, and without her, it's unbelievable. I've never met anyone who could outwork my life. And then there's a couple other people. So KL's here. So KL, you'll come up and join us. KL Going, who wrote the novel, Fat Kid Rules the World. Our writers, Michael Galvin and Pete Speakman are here. Please come up. You guys come up. Everyone come up. And then Whitewater Pictures is a place that believes in young filmmakers, and I get emotional. I'm sorry. This happens all the time. And it's not, I do it all the time. My wife said to me today, getting ready, don't cry. I'm not going to. So I will tell you that very rarely I've chased to make this movie for 9 years because I was a lost kid and an outcast in the world, and I found a book that related to me. And for 9 years, I tried to make a movie. And it's hard to make movies. Stop clapping, I'm crying, stop clapping. It's hard to make movies in Hollywood. But it's harder to find one man that'll write a check and be your mentor at the same time. And that man's Rick Rosenthal, so thank you. Can you please come up? It just doesn't happen very often. And so thank you. So those are the people, and everyone else, I see you on the side, you're in the movie, come up to the front, god damn it. So somebody asked me a question. Please stop me talking.
Sure, before we open it up, since you've got your cast here, I was hoping you could talk about how you cast your actors and what your collaboration process was like, because it is anchored by some wonderful performances.
I will say that, we went through, I'll start with Jacob Wasaki, who's mom and dad here. So we, as part of the deal with Whitewater Pictures and Rick Rosenthal, they do something that they want to work with somebody. There's a three-prong attack to doing a short, and we did a short. The reason why you do the short is A, do you work well together? B, could I direct is the question. And the third element of that was it a story worth telling? We cast the short. In this meeting, the first meeting I ever met Rick, he was like, let's do a short together. And in that moment, I saw a window of opportunity. I said, I will put down this amount of money, and you put down this amount of money. And so that was $5,000 each. So it's $10,000. And then, and my sister runs the Washington Film Works, which is why we shot in Washington. And so I went up to Seattle, and I said to the people in Seattle, if you support us in the short, we will come back and make the movie here. So we for $10,000 we did the short, and it was, we didn't pay anyone anything with the idea that we would come back. In that short and that audition period, we cast people between Christmas and New Year's. We played somebody, we cast somebody else as Marcus. He's a lovely actor. But we found there was 4 people that came in for this teenage kid. We don't have a movie without that kid. So we can just put the camera on Jacob Wasaki and just let it be in its own time and space. You don't have to ask Jacob to do too much. And so we found Jacob in those 4 days. And in the casting, we had 4 people come in, and Jacob was one of them. And we did the short with Jacob, and he became a linchpin of the financing. They wouldn't do the movie without Jacob. And that's how powerful he is. And I think the movie starts as this fat kid rules the world. You start the movie with this kid who's an obese teenager. In the end, I think you find a hero, and I think the kind of size and the weight goes away, and he just becomes a representative of everyone who attaches to the movie. And that's how we found Jacob. And then Matt O'Leary was an element of casting, and the first time he came in, I was like, oh, he's weird. Maybe let's bring him back again. And he was so committed, and that's the thing. And with Matt, he came back and played guitar. And he's like, what do you want to do? I will do anything.
I don't know how to play guitar.
Yeah. And then Billy Campbell came in 4 days after shooting started. And that just doesn't, to get that caliber of an actor and that kind of performance. I mean, I literally was memorizing lines to be the guy because we couldn't find somebody that would say yes. And Tracy Brennan, she's here tonight, basically said, what about Billy? And I said, please, God, please, anything. And Billy, I mean, it's, he's the foundation and the core of the movie, so. Yeah, and everyone else, yes, Kathy.
Do you have any questions in the audience?
Oh, thank God. That's somebody else.
Oh, great.
Back there in the red.
Matthew, you worked on a lot of films as a teenager, or kind of teenage movies.
Are you talking to me? Or Matt? Which Matt, I guess?
The
O'Leary or Lillard?
Lillard.
Lillard, you worked a lot when you were a kid.
Yeah. Which of the directors that you worked with as an actor did you kind of take cues from in directing this film?
You steal something from everyone. I mean, as an actor, your tool bag is as great as the people you work and the amount of times you work as an actor. The tricks you get are from experience. Your book of life, and so I would say all of them. There's not a particular one. I mean, for me, look, I'm not gonna lie. James Marandino, who directed SLC Punk, was a huge influence in my life just because of the movie and the way the movie speaks to a disenfranchised group of kids, people that nobody talked to. I mean, in Hollywood, we try to hit all 4 boxes. And I thought like that was a movie that was designed for 1 box. And I wanted to go back and, quite frankly, make a movie for those same kids. I mean, if I walk down the street right now, those are the kids that are still in my life that will still say hello to me. Not the Scooby kids or the Scream kids, but those kids are the kids that come up and say, that movie meant something to me. And so for me, in my first movie, and 9 years later, trying to make this movie, I just wanted to make a movie for the people that I related to most as a kid. So James Meridiano would be the answer.
More questions?
Did you guys like it?
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the adaptation process, since it was adapted from the novel? What were some of the difficulties?
Michael Galvin, Pete Speakman. Michael Galvin, come here and speak. I don't want to speak anymore, I cried.
The book is really great. KL wrote the book, and it's a really solid book. I come from a lot of punk rock bands in New York, and Pete likes guys who are obsessed with things. And so we felt like as soon as Matt came to us with the project, it was really something that we were interested in, because we like all that stuff. And it's really so hard to do punk rock in movies, and it's really difficult to get it right? And so that's, really, I thought that was really the hardest part, but almost everything, like all the character stuff and everything was right from the book. All that stuff was really good. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
I know. I told him I was like, not on stage. I just wanted to say that in terms of the adaptation of the book, the characters, you guys, just could have walked out of my brain. And I thought that was really amazing, because people talk a lot about how the movie is never as good as the book type of thing, but that was not the case. And the movie is brilliant, and I just really loved it. I thought it was a wonderful adaptation. So kudos to you guys too.
There's a question in front.
I wanted to know a little bit more about how Rick, between Matt and Rick, how you guys met and how that relationship worked in order to develop funding for it. Or how you guys became, if you guys knew each other before, or how that...
Well, one of our colleagues, Ryan Lewis, brought who knew my son Noah. So it's always like this 5 degrees of separation. Brought the script in, and I read the script, and I liked the script a lot. And it's interesting to go back and look at the first notes you do, your first impressions, which I always keep, because I think as you go through drafts, very often, in fact, you completely lose your way, and you over and over and over write the successive drafts, and pretty soon you forget what it was that you liked about the project when it first came in. So I think it's really important to sort of have a first impression. So the first impression was the script needed some work, but boy, it felt like it could be a great film. And then Matthew Lillard walked in. And, once we collectively met Matthew, how could you not want to support him as a filmmaker? He has a sense of enthusiasm that's infectious for everyone that works with him. So we fell under that spell. And obviously there's somebody who's also worked with him. and we had hit on this idea that the best way to get to know somebody is to work with them, but you don't want to work with them you don't want to start a feature without knowing each other, because I think that's a recipe for disaster. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. You don't know each other. You've never worked together. So we hit on this idea of doing a 3 or 4 day shoot to get to know, see what the working relationship was like, to see also going through post-production, actually cutting the short. And that's how we met Michelle, which was great, because Michelle then came from the short, stayed on, and she's under like a 12-year contract now to Whitewater Films, and she lives there, and it's great. It's pretty good. So there was a little bit of that, and then we just spent a lot of time together. I think it's really important that you get to know each other so that you're working as a team. And I think sometimes producing is about what the director doesn't know you're doing, and hopefully the speed bumps that you're smoothing out nobody ever talks about until later. Did you know how close we were to X, Y, and Z? But hopefully that doesn't, I mean, that's what I think a producer's supposed to do. So that's how it started.
Yeah, and it's funny that, you know, as an actor, I think it's so hard to be connected to acting because we're asked to act very rarely in this industry. So we do a reading at my house every 2 weeks, and we just randomly read plays. And Ryan Lewis, I was like, let's just pull out the screenplay. And I do think that you throw things. I think you continually throw things in the. I mean, look, I optioned the book 9 years ago to try to make it, and my idea right after Scooby-Doo 1 was to make an independent film for $10 million. This is not a $10 million movie. And it's funny how over time your perception changes. And yeah, you just keep throwing in the universe, and some things are bound to happen.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah, up there.
This one's from Matt O'Leary. I saw you, Matt, you were in my favorite movie of South by last year, Natural Selection.
Well, thank you.
What drew you to this script?
Lots of money. Obviously, I'm kidding. No, it was the script. It was the wild and truth. I mean, that you get from reading the script and, like, you know, obviously the audition process. Like, I got an email saying, "You want to read the script? Tell me what you think." And I read it, and it was, you know, I think the most attractive thing about this script is the honesty of it and the truth. You know, as much as it's crazy and everybody's kind of playing they're kind of manipulating to get their own way throughout it, or at least my character is. It still comes from, like, an honest place, and I think movies need that, because what else are you going to relate to? You know, I'm not relating to James Bond. Like, that's not what I care about. Like, you know what I mean? So I guess that's what was attractive about it. And Jacob, you know, how could you do without Jacob? I don't ever want to do a movie without you from now on. So our careers are over.
This is the line.
Matt, you did a table read of the script at your house? A bunch? Did you play me?
I did not.
Who played me?
Doesn't matter.
Everybody thank Matthew Lillard and the casting crew. Back to the world.
Thank you for coming.